Today on Suncoast View, non-disclosure agreements are all over the headlines. We'll talk to a local commercial litigation lawyer about what they really mean and what all of us need to know.
The soaring sounds of chorale music accompanied by an orchestra with death-defying acrobats. Today we preview the very unique Cirque du Voix.
And the world's youngest professional musician is here to show us some tricks and tell us what life is like growing up on stage. All that and more right now on Suncoast View. Welcome to the show, and welcome to one of our favorite friends, Kathy Carson.
It's great to be here.
Welcome back.
And so we're excited because we have you here without Mother Linda Carson. So the girl is loose.
Right.
The
She's
gloves are off.
She's around the world gallivanting.
She's on another side of the world, and she won't hear what you say about her. She'll never know.
Because she tells so many stories that I'm sure you wouldn't necessarily love for everyone to hear on
and
television.
I probably have no idea that it happened. So.
Well, let's just say that the entire Suncoast does know how you were conceived.
Oh, that's her favorite story. I knew about that.
That one you know about. We do know that you got in some trouble in high school and how she controlled that. I mean, like I said, there's a lot we know about you.
Yeah.
And we love it, and we love that you're a very good sport. I do have to tell you that. You are a very good sport.
I don't really have any choice.
So today is your day.
Yeah.
Where Mom is not here and Kathy gets to play.
Exactly. I can totally get back at her for everything she said.
And we really miss her, so it's nice to have you. It's nice to have you anyway, but it's also nice to, it's like a little piece of Linda.
I'm like a little fill-in piece of Linda.
So Linda, as you may have realized, because we've been talking about this a lot for the past week and a half, is truly on the other side of the world, enjoying Australia. And from what I understand, she's even moving on to New Zealand as well.
Wow.
So we're so happy for her just to be able to have this scratched off her bucket list.
And she found a sailor, the sailor statue.
Oh,
was on the
right.
background.
I
a little piece of the Suncoast.
I was going to say, I don't know the background stories to all these pictures.
She's learning to dance. I only know this from Facebook.
Look at the
and
koala.
then she's hugging a koala
Yeah,
bear.
Oh my gosh,
best one.
that is the best one.
You know what I love? This is a big trip. This is a big trip for anyone at any age, and she is not daunted in the least.
No.
To have gone to
She
do
never
it.
even hesitated.
She always said, oh, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do this. And, you know, you always think, well, everybody says they're going to travel when they get older, but she's doing it. She's living her best life. There's no doubt about that.
Now, do you worry at all, and I ask this as the daughter, you know, do you think, you know, I hope your knees feel okay, or I hope
worry
you don't
about
catch
her
a cold,
knees,
or...
but I don't worry about her. She's pretty smart, and she's, I mean, if there's anybody that can get herself out of a bad situation, it's her. She can charm herself out.
Yes, exactly. She certainly can.
That is true.
All right, good. Well, we are glad you are with us today. We have a lot of fun planned. We also have a friend you'll recognize in the kitchen back with us, Lisa from Hosted Gourmet. Welcome back. What are we making today?
We are making an alternative to an Easter side dish, a fried green tomato corn casserole.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
I love every word in that description.
Yeah, that's way more exciting than green bean casserole, which is what you get at my Easter table. So. All right, Lisa always has some very great and creative ideas, so we look forward to learning more about that. Speaking of eating, it's one of our favorite things to do here, as I'm sure you've noticed. This weekend is a great time to be eating. It is the 10th annual Toast to Venice. And what better way to toast Venice than by getting to sample their fine food and drink. So we want to thank Brewburgers for stopping by. Mike Bacon at Brewburgers brought us a sample of their French dip sandwiches, and these look absolutely amazing. This is certified Angus beef top round with horseradish sauce. It is au jus, which is one of my favorite fancy things to say. I'm going to watch Joey try not to get this on his suit jacket.
You know what? I was just going to do the dip part. I wasn't going to go in for that.
Oh,
now you have to.
Now you kind of have to. Now, okay, yeah, no, give it a bite. That looks amazing. And you have to use paper as napkins. We don't have any of those with us either. We're kind of winging it.
Shaved horseradish on top of this.
That is amazing. That looks great. And of course, there's desserts as well. Sweet treats and gifts. Has maple bacon mini cupcakes. They'll also have key lime pie, banana pudding, cheesecake bites, and chocolate chip cookies. There's food, there's drink, and there's community. And Venice is a wonderful place to spend the day. So head down to the Toast to Venice Wine, Beer, and Food Festival. For more details, you can go to their website, VeniceNicodemusRotary.org. But that's coming up on Saturday, March 24th. All right, I'll let you chew and swallow, and I'll do the talking.
That's a friend.
It is time for our first hot topic. And a new study points to the problem of affordable housing here on the Suncoast. The Economic Policy Institute estimates it costs a family of 4 living in Sarasota or Manatee counties over $80,000 to live modestly. Now, the problem is the average annual salary is only half that. Residents report that their rents have been rising numerous times in the past few years, and that half of renters pay more than 30% of their income just to live. This doesn't surprise me, but it certainly concerns me.
Yeah, you know, a lot of my neighbors actually, they have kids and they live here because the schools are great, but they work in St. Pete or Tampa. So, you know, there just aren't the jobs here that pay the kind of money that you're going to see in the Tampa area. That's the problem.
Right, so you're kind of reverse commuting in a way, but I completely understand wanting to live here for schools and quality of life and access to everything. But then they're commuting, and then they've got childcare issues, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, because they're gone from their kids.
It does make me feel like the Suncoast has become one of those cities and metropolitan areas where you live further out because you just can't afford to live in the city lines.
Yeah.
You know?
Which doesn't seem like we should have to be that way, because we're not such a huge metropolis that you have to live in the quote-unquote Manhattan to enjoy the area.
Yeah.
But price-wise, you know, it's getting harder and harder.
And I'm not a family of 4. I am a family of 2, and I feel it, you know. So I can only imagine what it's like to have other little people in my home who need phones and who need clothes and who need food and all those things.
I am a family of 4, and I think, well, how comfortable are they talking? Because that seems to me it would be very difficult, because you're going to have 2 incomes, and that's childcare, and it just.
2 car payments, because you'll each have to commute to a job. And here's the thing I thought when I read that, I'm like, $80,000, that's no small amount, you know, but yet that not really being enough, that's concerning.
Yeah.
Because most families with an $80,000 income would like to feel extremely comfortable.
Exactly.
Those are 2 solid jobs.
Yes, and I think if you look back and think like, oh, why are things so expensive? But you know, when I was a kid, we all didn't have cell phones. We all didn't have electronics. We had 1 computer in the house. We had 1 TV.
Right.
And that everything now is just adding on. Subscriptions to digital things, especially.
Right. Oh, don't get me started.
And so you can't tell a kid to go without that, especially if
the 2 moms here don't want to hear the list. We are well aware. We are well aware.
I'm just trying to make you not mad
The
at me
auto
for not having
withdrawals
kids.
of my account, I'm like, what's that for? Oh, that game.
Yes, exactly. That game that's smarter than I am.
Yep.
So we are all getting older, but studies say that Gen Xers are not ready to get older. And I'm pretty sure that Kathy and I both fall into this category. TD Ameritrade says that nearly 4 out of 10 of those born between 1965 and the late 70s say they'd like to fully retire someday, but they won't be able to afford it. 43% of Gen Xers are behind in savings. Nearly 20% aren't saving or investing at all. Just a third of Gen Xers surveyed said that they expect to be very secure in retirement, and that's compared to half of the currently retiring baby boomers. And did we do something wrong, or did life just get so much more expensive? This is an endless debate in my house.
I also think that, I mean, I'm a late 70s kid, and I was always told there won't be Social Security. You know, that's something that
Which
I
I'm
always
so
thought.
hoping we're wrong.
I know, I hope we're wrong, but I always thought that, and I always thought I'm not going to really be able to retire like people do now. You know, that was always something in the back of my head.
But you work so hard. Like, doesn't that irk you in the back of your brain?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
no,
a
I
big
want to work
struggle.
forever. No, I mean, I would love to have the retirement, but also nowadays people live so much longer that 65 used to be very old, and now 65 isn't old at all.
Well, you also have Linda as your role model,
That's
who is, you know, turning 80 this summer and absolutely not going to retire, and is very offended.
Very offended.
If we ask her, you know, would you like some time to yourself? And she says, no. You know, I want to be here. What am I going to do?
And I think we're going to see that generation's influence on us a lot more.
agree.
The idea of retiring at 55 or 60, I think, is kind of, it's not even an option for us.
Maybe it's just the thought that the 3 of us are all in our 40s now.
Yeah.
I'm a little farther along than you two. But to sit there and think, wow, I could be doing this 30 years from now, kind of wears you out. Not that I don't love you, but it kind of wears you out.
Yeah, the thought that
you have to.
I always figured I'd be someone that would work in my retirement because I just like to do things. I like to be busy, but that I would have to just to make a bottom line.
Yeah, just to survive.
It's nice to have the choice. It won't be so nice if we have to, and I think that's what we're worried about. All right, ladies, listen up. The pressure of pregnancy prevention may be shifting away. Researchers celebrating a major step forward for the male birth control pill. After clinical trials, a once-daily male pill effectively suppresses the hormones that produce sperm and has no negative effect on sex drive. So the side effect is a mild weight gain. I bet females are glad to hear that. Welcome to our world, gentlemen. But here's my question, and Joey, no disrespect meant. Would you trust a man to take a pill to prevent your pregnancy?
No way.
That's
My
what
husband can't remember what days garbage goes out. We've had the same garbage days for years, and he doesn't know. I'm not going to trust him to take a pill.
That's precisely what I thought.
Love you, honey.
Would you trust anyone for that matter? You know, just anyone else to be responsible for your own personal, your body and what's going to happen?
Well, isn't that why the pill
body?
became so popular and so freeing in the 60s, was that women wanted to have the control over their own health, reproduction, and choices. So I'm not sure where the movement is that we want to give it to the man. I mean, I know it's annoying that you have to take the pill, get the weight gain, feel the hormones.
Yeah, the
so
weight gain thing, I would, you know, now that I think about it, he can have that part.
Right, I mean, it's not always a fun process.
We'll set
with
an
the
alarm.
hormones,
He can
but-
take
But I still have a lot of single friends that are out in the dating world, and there's a lot of personal responsibility that they're talking about they absolutely need to take from a health standpoint, from an
Yep.
STD standpoint. So you have to be so confident that the person you're going to be engaging with is taking care of a number of things. I don't have to make this decision, obviously,
Right.
but I would be concerned to put that in someone else's hands.
Yeah, I think it would
Absolutely.
be for a committed relationship where you really trusted the person, because otherwise you still have to worry about STDs and all the
Yeah,
other
and maybe
stuff.
the man is more responsible than the female. I mean, we all
Yeah.
know there's women
yeah.
that can't keep track of garbage day.
Yeah,
so, you know,
certainly.
maybe in some places
We're
it
also
works.
simple too, so I think if you just said here,
Yeah.
please take this. So we
Pill
can
with
be
orange
romantic.
juice. All right, well, the Suncoast has another new accolade. The readers of Southern Living magazine have voted Sarasota one of the most beautiful cities in the South. Now, we could debate if Florida really qualifies as part of the South, but regardless, it is nice to be recognized. Previous honors have recognized our local beaches, our quality of life, and our walkability. What I do like about this study, because I do not consider Florida Southern at all, but when you compare us to southern cities, the charm of Charleston, Savannah, I mean, this is a pretty lofty list to
Sure.
be part of.
Yeah, I mean, really, but who would debate it?
Yeah.
The only thing I would debate is why not the entire country? Why do we have to narrow it down
Oh,
to
yeah.
just the South?
All right, I like it. Aim high. Aim high. This is a nice reminder, though, because they talked about our walkability, and I know that we have been challenging the fact that we need to be a better town, a better, more walkable town. All those things that bug us, that we live with every day, they don't necessarily bother everyone when they come
Yeah.
to visit. I think people laugh at us
Yeah.
complaining about our traffic when they're coming from Miami or they're
Oh, I'm
coming
sure.
from Washington D.C. or Chicago. So it's it
For
makes
a
us
little
appreciate
bit, and then they get used to it. I mean, I was in Orlando, and at first I was like, this is nothing, and now I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
I'm driving down University, so.
Well,
one
yes.
afternoon on 41, and then
Yeah.
you guys come on our side.
Okay, well, we admit we do love to eat foods as fast as they can. Not just us, it's a cultural thing. Think about Joey Chestnut eating hot dogs or the hot wing competition. But what about cotton candy? It's awfully sticky to swallow. But a clip of a Chinese TV show, we're going to watch this again. This is called I'm the Winner. Oh, yes, she is. She crushes the cotton candy
And that was in
competition.
slow-mo, what we
Watch her.
just saw.
I mean, she doesn't even, I guess she doesn't
That is insane.
chew or swallow. Look at that.
Talk about getting it done.
This clip has gone viral with more than 16 million views. I guess it just melts immediately in your saliva because it looked like she should choke.
That was crazy.
She had strategy, though. He was just kind of going along the side of the cotton candy.
Yeah, what
and
was
she
that
just
guy doing?
Took it all in.
All right,
Yes.
you go, girl. She may be little, but she is mighty. We're going to check out our happy hour forecast when we come back. A very cool preview from Cirque du Voix.
Thanks, Stephanie. I don't know about you, but we're going to pray for days like this come July and August when the humidity is up. Today the air is dry. It's a beautiful day outside. And looking at satellite, there's not a cloud in the sky pretty much. You can see those cold air clouds blowing out over the Atlantic behind that nor'easter, which is now a thing of the past. Also on radar, there is not one raindrop appears to be falling anywhere, as all the radar scopes sweeping on their full range at this hour. Currently at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport at 65 degrees. Dew point is 40. That is dry, and temperatures are going to get down into the 40s tonight because of that dry air. Humidity right now 40% with north-northwest winds at 16 miles per hour. Taking a look at our weather planner for this evening, another cold night ahead, and it's not that warm already, and we cool off very quickly with this dry air through the 50s through the evening hours, and then even into the 40s and maybe mid-40s by sunrise. We'll have the complete forecast coming up later on.
One weekend a year, 3 of Sarasota's great talents come together for a combined performance. Cirque du Voix features the thrills of circus artists, combined with more than 100 voices from Key Chorale, plus the Cirque Orchestra. And this year, you will definitely recognize the music. Here to tell us more about this year's collaboration is Pedro Reis from Circus Sarasota and Key Chorale's artistic director, Joseph Calkins. Welcome.
Good to be here.
So this is a long-time collaboration. You've been doing this for years. This year, you have a very specific composer that will be featured. Tell us about him.
We're going to do the music of Danny Elfman, who is full of wonder and weirdness. So it's definitely weirdness. So it's a unique kind of idea because we've never focused on one composer before, but Danny Elfman has such wonderful cinematic scores that just lead to the drama, the energy of the acts that we've paired them with.
And if that name is familiar to our viewers, it's because of his, he did the scores for a lot of the Tim Burton films, right?
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, all those
all these very crazy characters and great superheroes that were involved as well.
With some circus themes running
absolutely.
through.
Yeah, so it's a combination of the circus acts working to the energy of the music. I mean, Alice, so you're going to hear a little bit of it a little bit later, but we have this unique, one-of-a-kind, ever seen, hair-hanging lyra combination.
Wow.
Ooh.
And she is our Alice.
Oh, wow.
Very sensational, very weird.
Well, and music is so moving that to watch the uniqueness of your circus acts with then the emotion that the music brings, that's a really cool combination.
It's extremely powerful, and people don't realize that. It's one of a kind. We're the only presentation in the world that presents this energy under the big top.
Yes.
Others do it on stage. We do it under the big top. It's magical.
And as separate organizations, you have very, very strong followings locally and certainly very specific performing styles. This wasn't an obvious collaboration however many years ago when you started. And I'm curious for some of the challenges. It always comes off so beautifully, but what are some of the challenges? Timing with the music, is that something that takes a lot of planning?
It's just, there's so many challenges, but the hardest one for me is the orchestra comes together and we have 2 rehearsals with the orchestra, the acts, and the chorus.
Only 2 rehearsals.
And so you have to be really good and have a little bit of fate on your side and a little bit of luck, but what happens is everybody's good at what they do. The orchestra's great, the choir's great, the artists are amazing, but they come together, but it has to come together really fast.
Yes.
For great shows on the weekend.
And when we see normal circus performances under the big top, music plays such a key role in like building suspense or paying off, you know, the end of a stunt. Which comes first in this collaboration? Does the music come in first and then you'll figure out the circus acts, or vice versa?
No, the music comes in first. Joe presents about 20 different pieces of music, and then we listen to the music together, and then I imagine acts to this particular piece of music.
Oh, neat.
Again, for Alice, I had this link. Samantha Petard sent me a clip of her act, and I looked at this hair-hanging lyra. Wow. And then I heard Alice, and I said, she's Alice.
Oh.
Right.
You know, and it comes together, and then in rehearsals, it really, you know, the logistics of the rigging, the apparatus, it's just amazing. You know, 2 rehearsals, and we're sweating. But at the end, though, the energy is just so powerful. It's cinematic. Honestly, people really, really need to realize the power of the show under the big top.
And every year it is a huge, huge success, and this year I know will be the same. Speaking of Alice's theme, Joseph has brought us a preview with some of the singers from Key Chorale. So while he goes to get ready for the performance, I will let you know that Cirque du Voix is March 23rd through the 25th. It is under the big top at Nathan Benderson Park. For more information, you'll want to get your tickets at circusarts.org. And now with a preview of Alice's theme, Key Chorale, take it away.
quite what it seems you're dreaming. Are you dreaming? Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice.
Yes. Cirque du Bois is March 23rd through the 25th under the Big Top at Nathan Benderson Park. For more information, you want to get your tickets soon, go to circusarts.org. Coming up next, we will ask our resident lawyer today, Kathy Carson, about all of the non-disclosure talk in the news.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Non-disclosure agreements are all over the headlines right now, from the Harvey Weinstein scandal and the Me Too movement to the infidelity allegations against the president. So our guest host, Kathy Carson, also Linda's daughter, is also a very accomplished commercial litigation attorney. So we have a lot of questions about what is going on in the news, and we have saved them all up for you.
Great.
But let's start with just kind of the nuts and bolts. What is a non-disclosure or NDA agreement?
Typically, what you use these for is, let's say there's a lawsuit and you settle the lawsuit. At the end, as part of the settlement, you'll sign a non-disclosure so that that person can't say, oh, I got $1 million, and then everybody gets in line to sue the person.
Okay.
Or when you have a product and you have to show it to somebody because maybe you want them to buy it, you get them to sign an agreement that they won't disclose what the product is, how it works. That's how they are traditionally used. Of course, here we're getting into where they're not traditionally used to try and keep people from speaking out about harassment, but that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing it as hush money. So this week, the Weinstein Company declared bankruptcy and tossed out all of its NDAs. Does this mean that we could see a whole new wave of victims or witnesses coming forward to say, hey, this is what I know?
It certainly does. I mean, if they had an agreement with the company itself, then we could see a lot of these people coming forward. Now, if Harvey Weinstein made agreements with the individual women, which he very well may have in some of these circumstances, then it doesn't matter what the company says. Those agreements would still be
outside
in place.
outside of his company.
So if I'm a receptionist at the company and I saw him, and this is all hypothetical, saw him assault someone, now that that company has said, we've dropped those NDAs in bankruptcy, as the receptionist, I could come forward and say, well, here's what I used to see.
If there was a settlement with you and you signed it, or if earlier, and there's a lot of different things that these may not protect against anyway. Like usually you can't get an NDA to protect you against like a criminal act or something that's against public welfare. You can't say, sign this and don't tell anybody that I'm going to murder someone tomorrow. You know,
no one's going to agree to that.
So typically, though, it wouldn't stand in those circumstances anyway.
So if someone takes money in exchange for silence and then decides, you know what, I want to come forward and talk, you can have your money back, I'll take the lawsuit, whatever. What can happen to the person who talks?
Well, there's no take-backs. You can't just say, like, I don't want to be in the agreement anymore. You know, that's not how it works. There's a breach of the agreement, and then you could certainly pursue that and get damages, potentially and probably a lot more than the actual money that you paid the person.
Wow.
So,
So it could be punitive.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you breach an agreement, and let's say in a Weinstein case, you ruin his entire reputation. I mean, the damages, the monetary damages are huge.
Right. Well, so this is what we're all anxiously awaiting to see what happens this weekend, whether the Stormy Daniels interview will air. Does that have to do with whether you can or cannot take back an NDA?
Certainly. I mean, you can say that I don't want it anymore and here's the money, but that doesn't change the fact that you're in an agreement. You know, you can't
still signed, still
signed.
there.
That's not,
and that's one of the debates. Is it really signed? You know, those are things we don't know, obviously.
Exactly, and we don't know that. But if it's a legal executed agreement, then you can't just say, I'm not interested anymore, here's your money. That's not, you can't get out of it like that.
Potentially, what could this do to NDAs in the future going forward with making this also public?
I mean, potentially there could be some court cases and they could get it up into the Supreme Court and it could change what you can put in an NDA and what you can't. So it could change the entire landscape.
Maybe some new precedents coming out of it. So it's interesting to have this be so much in the spotlight. We love talking to you as an attorney and not just Linda's daughter. So it is great to have you with us. Kathy's a great mom, was a great news reporter as well, and now a very knowledgeable contract lawyer. So thanks for the update on that. Coming up next, another fun mom, the Fun Money Mom is here with some spring craft ideas.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the 2nd leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
My name is Haley. I have
Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Lisa from Hosted Gourmet, and she's getting us ready for our spring holidays. And you have some easy ways to get appetizers on the table.
Yes, this. So we're doing the fried green tomatoes. You can do this as an appetizer, and you can do it ahead of time. And you know how I like my cupcake holders, you can already even have this ready to go and then pop it in the oven right when people get there and then display it. And then online I have the sauce. This is a roasted red pepper sauce for the fried green tomatoes.
That's a great idea because then it's just easy, quick finger food.
Because otherwise you're not going to do it and you're going to go buy something pre-made.
Right, yes, and that won't be nearly as fun. So Lisa has great tips to help us be homemade. We're going to join you in the kitchen in just a few minutes. Spring has sprung. That means Easter is right around the corner. And our fun money mom blogger Lisa Driscoll is back with some gorgeous Easter egg decorating ideas for your spring table. And we assure you some of them are easy to do because we are not craft talented here. So we're always telling her, please make us one that's simple so we can do it. So welcome back and happy spring.
Thank you. Thanks.
We're going to start with some pictures of different things that you can do with Easter eggs.
Okay,
so
great.
talk us through some of the ideas you have. These look amazing. What is that?
These were made with nail polish. They're marbled eggs, and I found a secret to doing it the easy way. They were so messy the first couple times I tried, but I have a new technique, and this one won't give you nail polish all over the hands.
And those are the kind of tips that you put on your blog, which we so appreciate. These look like little monsters, and they're holding beans. That's amazing. How in the world do you get them to do that?
Well, it takes me so long to hollow out the eggs, and I had one craft in mind, and it turned out to be a big disaster. So I had these eggs that had holes in them, and I'm like, I'm not throwing these away. I worked too hard to hollow them out, and I took a look at them, and I thought, oh, they look like little monsters.
So you can use your mistakes and make something good out of them.
That's
right.
right.
Okay, tell us about the surface of this.
And these are mosaic eggs, and these are also great if you break your eggs. Because you just take one egg, you color it, and then you break up a bunch of other eggs and glue them on, and
so
you have a mosaic.
The pieces are the broken eggs.
Oh, nice. Exactly.
She's very good at using her mistakes.
I am.
All right, now we do love the sparkles. How do you get the glitter to stay?
The glitter on the polka dot ones, I just take a little paintbrush that is, it's a foam brush that's shaped like a circle, and you just dip it in Mod Podge, which is my go-to.
Right.
Yes.
And then do you roll it or sprinkle?
No, I just make little dots all over and I sprinkle it over.
Sprinkle the glitter over.
These
okay.
are beautiful.
And we're going to work on making these. Tell us about the theme behind these kind of bejeweled eggs.
Well, I started off just making blinged out eggs because I love anything with sparkle. And my daughter took one look at the blue one and she said, Mommy, that looks like a Cinderella egg. And that was all I needed to hear. So now I have Snow White, Belle, Aurora, Rapunzel, and Tiana.
This is brilliant. I love this.
Okay, and that one's really neat. What is that that's attached to those eggs?
Now, this one's super easy, and it's great for the kids. It's just an egg covered in Mod Podge with tissue paper, like the kind of tissue paper you use for wrapping gifts.
You just stick it on?
You just stick it right on. You can tear it. I cut some strips. I cut some squares. You can do it however you want.
Kathy, that would work for your younger kids.
That's what I was just thinking. That seems like a less dye, messy kind of... I might take one of these.
Well, that's a good point, Lisa, because I try to be a fun uncle, and the last thing I want to do is pick a craft that's going to be so difficult to do that we're not going to be able to finish it for the kids.
Right.
And
Don't do the nail polish.
Or then for 10 years, you're like, that's the spot where the Easter egg dye went.
I do have a question about blowing out the eggs, because I know that's very intimidating. All the eggs that we're working with, you did blow out. Do I have to?
No, you can use hard-boiled eggs. I keep some of these because I just think they're pretty and I like to decorate with them. So if you want to use them year after year, then you want to blow them out.
Right.
But otherwise, you can just hard-boil them. I'm not sure I would eat all of them. Maybe the polished ones probably I wouldn't eat.
But they'll sit on your table for a couple of days, won't they, without being any sort of problem?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because I know last year I made one of your crafts that you brought us, and I did not blow out the eggs, nor am I ever going to, because it's a lot of work. Now, you have Kathy working on her princess eggs. You have Joey and I doing something that I so appreciate for its simplicity. Tell us about these different products we're using.
So this is just tape that I got from Michael's, and they have all kinds of cheap stuff there in the little dollar bin, and I picked those up, and then I found these gold markers, and I put little designs on the black ones so that
So I literally
am look more elegant.
I am just using, you know, fancy looking tape to tape kind of a pattern around my egg. It's kind of like wrapping a Christmas present.
It ends up looking so
beautiful. It ends up stunning. I'll see if we can get a closer shot of these ones at the front of the table. But now I do have to ask this too. How do you paint black eggs? Because Joey's looks, you actually used paint?
I used black acrylic paint, and then these I painted Mod Podge over the paint to give it kind of a shiny look.
Oh, that makes sense. You can see the difference. So Mod Podge is one of your go-tos.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I have a big container of Mod Podge.
Now, Lisa, you did mention, these are gorgeous. Now, you did mention for the nail polish ones that you came up with a hack to make it a little bit easier. Tell us what you came up with.
So it's on the blog. I started off just doing it the regular way and using my fingers, and I went through so much nail polish remover. It was gross and messy.
Gross.
And so since these, you have to use hollowed out eggs, but I put them on the end of a skewer, and I stuck them in that way, and oh my gosh, it was so much easier.
It gives you so much more control, and it's cleaner, and they look beautiful. We can see on the video and on here, these are gorgeous.
Oh,
they're
and
so fun to make.
So many different ideas. This has gone so much beyond just, you know, buying the old tabs and throwing them in the vinegar, you know. You can use lots of different surfaces. You can see the sparkles, the bejewels. Joey and I are actually fairly successful here, which is rare for us.
This may be the best we've done.
I know. I'm going to have to show yours off in a minute here. Joey has got his decorated with the tape and also the idea of adding the paint pen I love. But to make an egg tree is something else that is beyond creative. Now you have hollowed these out, but put some little spring buds in them. An amazing centerpiece. Did you hot glue gun those together? Is that what you used?
I did. I used a hot glue gun, and because last year I had a broken egg and I turned it into a small little vase with 3, but I always have to outdo myself. So for a few days when I made eggs, I just cut off the top of the egg.
Right. This is amazing. Lisa has so many amazing ideas that are so doable and all incredibly budget friendly. Definitely go to her blog. You can find it online. She is the funmoneymom.com. Thanks for the great ideas.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the world's youngest professional magician is here. You're going to get a performance.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
The 2018 Sarasota County Fair is set to begin March 16th through 25th. This year, there'll be rides for everyone thanks to Bell City Amusements. Experience your favorite entertainers along with some new and exciting acts like the Tiger Encounter, the Kachunga and Alligator Show, comedian ventriloquist Steve Brogan, plus our new and exciting SRQ Schools at its best. And remember, ride armbands all day, every day. The 2018 Sarasota County Fair, March 16th through 25th. See you there.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. The body of a Bradenton man is left lying in a public park for hours after EMS was unable to revive him. The new policy Manatee County is working on following the tragic situation. And we'll have new details on Sarasota County's latest push to keep students safe in schools. Let's get a check on the weather now with meteorologist Steve Newman in for Bob.
Thanks, Scott. What a great day. Not a cloud in the sky. The air is very dry, which means it's going to be cold again tonight. Temperatures getting down into the 40s. There's some cold air clouds behind that nor'easter that's winding down. But for us, if we look at our radar scope, nothing can be found. All the radar scopes sweeping out as far as they can look for rainfall, and nothing is coming in. Here's your planner if you're going out this evening. Look for temperatures. Well, right now 65, our dew point 40, humidity 40%. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 5, 6, and 7, we'll have the complete forecast.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, bro. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. It's so wet.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Life on the road as a touring artist is no easy task, especially when you're being chased by paparazzi and still trying to get your homework done on time. Well, Caden Bart Rocket is the world's youngest professional magician, and his magical assistant Brooklyn are performing here on the Suncoast this weekend. So we're glad that you stopped by to see us. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so how old are both of you?
I'm 12. And I'm 10.
Oh, great. And you, and in your young age, you have already performed quite a bit together. How did you both get started?
Well, I mean, I've always been interested in magic. It's always been a big hobby, and it really became a little bit more than a hobby when we were on America's Got Talent. I think it was like, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're seeing clips of when you were on the show. What was it like to be on the show?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. Getting to meet all the people, getting to have that experience, and not really nerve-wracking at all, surprisingly.
Maybe not for you, but
I was just going to say,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn just got cut in half.
There's some crazy things happening to you. How do you enjoy the act?
I love performing with him. Not so much when he cuts me in half, but any other time it's fun.
Oh, great. And it looks like you both get along very well, which is nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's like, it would be impossible to do a show without her.
That is so sweet.
And it sounds like I'm being sweet on set, but no, seriously.
And you know what we did? We've seen that you two are very tight and close and sweet, sweet, sweet performers. So in addition to America's Got Talent, you've done some pretty big things. You've done movies, commercials, even your own stunts.
I hung off a 25-story building on rush hour.
Wow. Brooklyn, were you there too?
I was not, and I would not hang off of a building.
How did you decide that you wanted to do that?
Well, we were on set and we were shooting, and they had a stunt double for me.
Right.
And this was a real 25-story building. Of course, there were a bunch of safety measures, like cords hanging to me, you know, a bunch of that. And I said, she doesn't look enough like me. And then I'm just like, you know what, I'll do it.
Wow.
And of course, right now, I'm sitting here going, why did I do that? But just at the time, it just felt right.
Wow, that is, well, you are fearless, and we love that. Now, I understand that as you're becoming more and more popular, the paparazzi starting to follow you both. What is that like as you're trying to go to school and get your work done and everything, and you're having photographers chase you?
Well, we actually got stopped for a few minutes at the airport before we headed off to China and do a around the world tour. So we got stopped at the airport by TMZ, and it was really crazy.
I was going to say, do you like that, or is it kind of weird?
It's weird at points, but overall it's awesome. Just to get to, you know, do all this cool stuff.
Well, it's as you're getting more famous, they're following you even more. Now, I hear that you are going to actually demonstrate a trick, and Kathy has volunteered. So, Brooklyn, you're off the hook now.
On her.
But you can help her out. So,
help me out.
So let's see. Show us what you're going to show.
You're not going to cut her in half, are you?
No. I'm not going to stand up right now, but this is just a little trick that I thought I could bring into the studio nice and easy. Now, Kathy, here you go. Just hold that up.
Just hold this, okay.
I'm going to take one. Kathy, I'm going to need you to have one more, okay?
All right.
There you go. Now, what we're going to do with one of these, we're going to take it and wad it up inside of your hand, okay?
To both of them?
Wad it up. Wad it
Just
up.
one of them. Just one, okay. See,
Okay, now place it right here on the palm of your hand, okay?
All right.
And put your thumb over it. This is called palming. Hold your hand like this, and yeah, then take the other one and start off with step number 1 of the trick, which is to take it, tear it up into a bunch of little pieces. So tear up the other one.
Does it matter if they are matching size or anything?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, just a bunch of pieces.
Next, wad up those little torn up pieces.
All
Wad
right.
up the torn up pieces and cram it right here into your hand right here.
The other hand?
Yep. Step
Okay.
number 3 is to take
Got
your
it.
empty hand and reach inside that pocket. Pull out just a little bit of magic dust. Just pull out a little bit of that magic dust. Then take that magic dust and sprinkle it over your hands. And Kathy, if you've done this right, well, it'll actually appear as if you've put those pieces back together. Now, obviously, pull out the put together pieces and not the torn up. There you go.
Okay.
But the only problem
Is that
well, you kind of dropped the torn up pieces.
Yeah.
And here, pull those out and unwad them.
All right, I think that you're safe.
No, well, you're actually gonna have to go to plan B if they're not put together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Wait a second.
You must not have the magic dust.
Apparently, I did not have it in my pocket.
Well, Kathy, we won't be going to see you this weekend, but we will certainly go see Caden Bart Rocket and his sister Brooklyn. They will be this Saturday performing at Venice Performing Arts Center. You can go to their website for tickets and more information. That's VenicePerformingArtsCenter.com. Next, we're going to get some inside scoop about our very own Linda from her daughter Kathy. She's going to dish.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Okay, before we head to the kitchen, we have to take a minute and get some Linda dish from Kathy. So we all ask Linda tons of intimate questions because we always want to know about her world. Okay, here's one we've been wanting to know. She's a consummate blonde. How does she do this?
Well, here's a little secret for you. She doesn't know if she's a consummate blonde. I've asked her, like, what's your actual hair color? And she's like, I have no idea. I've said, well, I mean, you know it was brown to start with. She's like, well, it's been so long. I'm not sure if that's even true. And I said, are you all gray? And she said, I don't have any gray.
She will never know if she has grays because she isn't stopping what she's got going on now.
And her gorgeous eyes. I always love Linda's eyes light up the room. There's
They are
something about her
so
eyes.
beautiful, but they just changed. They used to be brown until maybe 10 years ago. They were dark brown, and now they're green.
Wow.
That's so funky. And I've heard her blame that on a lash revitalized product, but I don't know if that's true.
I think it's just getting older, but...
Well, she always looks fabulous on the show, and we ask her, like, Linda, you must have a huge wardrobe. How do you keep track?
Okay, so when I go to her house, I looked at, she had a big calendar, and I'm like looking at it, and I said, what is all of this? It's just these weird words. She writes down every outfit that she wears so that she doesn't...
On a wall calendar?
On like a big desk calendar. So that she doesn't
hysterical.
repeat and so that she knows what...
That explains.
Well, and she said when she moved, she was very concerned about having enough rooms to have enough closets.
Yeah, she has a lot of clothes.
She doesn't like to repeat an outfit. That's for us. That's for our benefit.
Exactly.
And, you know, she puts forth that she's very, very sweet. And is that all true? Is Linda a good church-going?
It is. My mother goes to church every Sunday. I don't think she's missed, well, now she's missing because she's in Australia, and I'm sure she didn't go there, but she, my entire life, she's been at every Sunday, maybe sometimes even twice a week kind of churchgoer. Yeah.
She is the Linda that we know and
She
love.
is, and she's dear to our hearts, and we miss her. She is in Australia having the time of her life. We will welcome her back next week. Okay, it is time to head to the kitchen where the smells and aromas are the best I've seen in my life in a while. We can't wait to go see Lisa and Hosted Gourmet.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device. This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. 19 Florida cities and counties ban the practice of conversion therapy on minors. Why a former commissioner is making sure it never happens in Sarasota. Taking a quick look at first alert traffic right now, traffic is congested in both the north and southbound lanes of US 301 in Sarasota, mostly around the intersection at Fruitville Road. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Steve.
Hi, we've got a lot of cool air in place over the state, but fear not, there's warmer weather heading our way for the weekend. But right now, temperatures in the 60s in the northern part of the state, all the way down to Key West because of that dry northeasterly flow. And across our viewing area, temperatures pretty much in the 60s as well, but 71 at Northport and Arcadia. Longboat, 62, 63 at Siesta. Coming up at 5, 6, and 7, I'll have a look at the weekend weather, which I think you're going to like a lot. And I'll tell you when I think it's going to rain next.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience, that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Coming up Friday at 4 on Suncoast View. You know we love holidays. Well, how could we not celebrate National Puppy Day? We'll do some cuddling and hear a sweet story about a rescue dog success. Our movie guy brings us Don't Miss Spring movies headed to theaters, plus a Suncoast gallery showcases some great finds from the art world, and Kathy Barbosa joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We're here with Lisa from Hosted Gourmet. Lisa, what do we have here?
We're doing the fried green tomato corn casserole.
Yum.
Easy. I mean, this part is a little more time consuming, but like I said earlier, you can do this ahead of time.
Right.
And then throw it together.
And use it as an appetizer. So while you do the work, I'm going to eat the appetizer. Just saying.
And well, appetizers are typically eaten first, so that makes sense.
There you go. Usually what I do in here anyway. So.
Where do you start with the tomatoes? And then these are specific tomatoes, right?
Yes, these are from. The only place I really ever find them is from Duttweiler's.
Oh, yeah.
I go to the one in Venice, and Armando, he can see the fear in my face. I'm like, do you have the fried green? Do you have the green tomatoes I need? I have an event. But
so you buy specific green
tomatoes, yeah, because otherwise it'd be really soggy.
Okay.
Right. So then you want to take the tomato, which I've already done over there, and you want to cut. I always cut the butt.
Okay.
You know, like no one wants that part, and then you cut that part off, and you should get about 4 thick slices out of it.
Okay.
And then you can already start what she's doing now.
Some of the pre-cut ones?
Yes, we have regular flour. Then we have, so you want to
get it both sides of the regular flour.
Then you want to dip it in an egg wash. It's just eggs and water. Pop it in.
Oh.
Drip, drip, drip.
Oh, sorry.
Get
it
the
went
eggs
for a
off.
little dive.
And then this has, my secret ingredient is celery salt. Can you taste it now?
Wow.
It's in everything.
Yes.
I would have never pulled that out.
It's a staple of our Bloody Marys at home.
Well, so you already have the necessary
Celery, salt, rocks. Now, do you remember what we do for, a lot of people like to throw oil, water and oil. I mean, I have enough scars. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Wood spoon.
Okay.
When you see bubbles around the outside.
You're ready.
You're
okay,
good to
I see
go.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great tip.
Just
all right, so drop it in slowly.
You want to put it in.
Don't drop it. Right, we'll splatter.
We just learned about that. So they're going to cook about 6 minutes on each side.
Okay.
Okay. Stephanie. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to do a cup of mayonnaise. This is,
right into the corn?
Yes, this is frozen corn.
Okay.
It's 15 ounces. You want to buy 2 bags.
Okay.
So it's...
Am I cool enough here? I'm going to slide over so we can see it better. Okay, this is my mayonnaise?
Mm-hmm.
All right, in.
Yep. And then, so it's a cup of mayo.
Okay.
2 cups of sour cream.
Oh, you had me at sour cream. So it's
too.
not a diet meal, and that is okay, because we're in holiday season.
You have 4 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese.
Yep. Okay.
You have garlic powder.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, doesn't.
The
we're
big
gonna
one?
put them all
Won't
in.
matter.
We have garlic
Okay.
powder. We have onion powder. We have smoked paprika.
Okay.
A little bit of cayenne. Cayenne's optional, but you can use it and not, you know.
Okay.
And then this celery salt.
Okay.
And then you're gonna mix this together, and then you're gonna add in a cup of half and half.
Okay, I'm going to mix quickly here so we don't run out of time. So basically, I make a creamy corn casserole as my bottom layer.
Bottom layer, yes.
Okay.
And then you're going to mix this together. You're going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Now, depending
just the corn, right?
Just the corn, because what will
tomato.
happen if the tomatoes just sit on top, it will kind of like, it won't melt properly.
Okay.
So you kind of want to stir it, and then you take it out. And depending how much you fry your tomatoes, how crispy you get them, you want to put them on top and then put it back in the oven.
All right, and with the magic of TV, we're going to move to a finished product, but we are making fried green tomato corn casserole with the creamy corn casserole on the bottom.
Here we are.
The crunchy fried green tomatoes
I'm
on
done.
top.
I'm done.
Oh, yes. This is holiday meal heaven.
Does anyone really want to burn their mouth?
No, we're going to have to let it cool before we dig in, but I'll tell you my other favorite part of this is that, Joey, if you had trouble getting any of those to look perfect and pretty,
How do you
use them as an appetizer in cute little cupcakes and then make a sauce to go along with it. All of this is on our website, so you can get this recipe from Lisa and Hosted Gourmet and use it for your spring holiday meals. Great ideas as always. Thank you.
Thanks.
Kathy, so much fun. We miss Linda, but we love having you here.
Thank you for having me. I had
Thanks
a
for
great
joining
time,
us,
as
everybody.
always.
Take some time and enjoy the rest of your day on the Suncoast View.
Put this on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, put this on.